Welcome back to Rolling with the Davises.
I parked at Laurel Brook and Bottom Roads today. I'm going to walk the Pleasantville Loop Trail toward Pleasantville Road from Laurel Brook Road. There's a little bit of a hill here to get started on a much flatter portion. Flatter portion used to be part of the Maryland and Pennsylvania Railroad. Oh, this has gotten grown up from what it was the last time I was here. Through these bushes and over Laurel Brook Road was what was known as the Overshot Trestle on the Gunpowder, site of one of the train wrecks back in the 1800s. On April 16th, 1891, the Overshot Trestle collapsed due to aging timbers. At that time, the railroad was known as the Maryland Central Railroad. 4 crew members died in the wreck, and a laborer died of sunstroke due to unseasonably high temps. The Gunpowder was known for its cuts, its curves, and its trestles. This would have been one of the cuts through the bank here, through the ridge. So from where I parked on Laurel Brook and Bottom Road, you traverse the trail through Harford County to Pleasantville Road. We followed the old rail bed all the way to the Gunpowder. Actually, it's known as the Little Gunpowder Falls, to where at one point there was another trestle. Once you get to the Gunpowder Falls, the trail turns to my right, which I guess would be to the west, and heads toward Pleasantville Road. There are some other loops you can do off away from the river, or you can walk along the river all the way. There is parking, a little bit of parking at Pleasantville Road, kind of like it's down at Laurel Brook. You can see there wasn't a lot of parking there. I don't like parking on Pleasantville Road. I have done it before, but traffic does go by pretty quickly and you're parked right along the side of the road. If you walk on Pleasantville Road to what will be a left or the south, the trail does continue into Baltimore County. Pleasantville Road bridges the line, so you can walk on the other side of the Gunpowder in Baltimore County. That is on my to-do list. I've never done it, but it is something I do want to try. This is part of Gunpowder Falls State Park. The park is a Maryland state park. It's broken up into several sections along the river, which is known as the Big Gunpowder or just the Gunpowder River. The one we're going to be walking, like I say, is the Little Gunpowder. Gunpowder starts up in York County, and the Little Gunpowder and the Gunpowder come together down around Joppatown. Our first look of the river here, which would be off to my left as I'm walking. The trail is very flat here. As I say, it is part of the old rail bed from the Gunpowder Railroad. The blue trail comes in from the right here, or I'm sorry, from the left here again. Just saw a young man on a bicycle. Mountain bikers like this little more rugged trail down by the river. And we've got another cut. This was probably all excavated out and used for fill in the area that I was just walking on. You gotta remember this was built in the late 1890s, or late 1800s, about 1890, maybe a little earlier. So this was not done with modern excavation equipment. Manpower and horsepower, true horsepower. There is some talk of this trail being haunted. I will tell you, a few years ago, I was here on Halloween, and that first cut we were walking through, as I came away from the Overshot Trestle, I had my dog with me that day. There was something there. We heard rustling. There was no animals, no chipmunks, no squirrels. Leaves were moving on the bank. The dog was very curious. So I fully believe that there are other things that we can't see out there, and especially along this trail. especially with the deaths back at the Overshot. There's also some deaths on the trestle over the Little Gunpowder. On March 3rd, 1892, the railroad had switched to the name Baltimore and Lehigh, and a baggage car derailed as it crossed over the Little Gunpowder. It dragged the engine and the smoking car off the trestle. The engineer died instantly. The baggage car caught fire. The fire was put out with the milk in the cans that had been picked up along the railroad that was headed to Baltimore. Back then, milk was all shipped in cans from the farms in this area on the Maryland-Pennsylvania Railroad. There is limited cell phone and GPS service in this area. I just checked my All Trails map. It says no GPS. I don't know that it's tracking me. I had downloaded the map before I left. The trails I've walked on recently, the blazes have been redone. I will tell you, there's times I've been over here and it just wasn't very well marked. It's an improvement that I see. It is a big safety thing to know where you are. Especially if you're hiking late in the day and you've got limited time. You don't want to get lost and not be able to find your way back to your vehicle. So the yellow blazes veer to the right here. But if you walk straight out, that's going to follow the old rail bed to the river. To the left here will take you down to the river. I used to walk with my dog. She loved to come over here. She loved this trail. She'd go down there and swim. But she was really funny. If I got out of sight, she was looking for me. There's some of the abutments from the trestle across the river. I don't think I'm going to walk down there today. I think I'm going to stay on the upper part of the trail for right here. You can see it is a good place for a dog to swim. Right, back on the yellow trail now. Looks like the app might have caught up with me. It says I've done 1.2 miles in 30 minutes. Stream crossing here. This one's just a little bigger. See if I can do this without getting wet or too wet. Oh, there we go. First few times I did this trail, you veered off here and you went over and crossed the stream on a piece of lumber. Of course, I had the dog with me, and here's this 2x12 we had to walk across. I thought, uh-oh, I'm going to have to turn back. But she never even hesitated. Down the stream bank, across the stream, and up the other side. Meanwhile, I'm trying to traverse this piece of lumber. Good thing I had a retractable leash, because if I'd had a short leash, she might have pulled me right off of that piece of lumber. Gonna take the left fork here, following the yellow blazes down the hill back to the river. I can hear the traffic on Pleasantville Road from here. I know I'm getting close. Somewhere on the other side is the Baltimore County part of this trail.
This is the Pleasantville Road Bridge over the Little Gunpowder, looking into Baltimore County. Time to head back to my truck.
So I did stop and check along the way at several different spots, top of the hills, different things. There is no cell phone service in this park, on this trail. I won't say in this park, but on this trail. If you're doing the trail, please let somebody know where you are, how long you think you're going to be gone. I know it's not a long trail, but there are places with roots and rocks, very easy to trip and fall. Maybe sprain an ankle, at the least. It's very important for someone to know where you are. I hope some of you out there are finding some inspiration from some of these videos. I think they're getting better as I go. I thought that might be a deer, but it's just a squirrel. I do know just the few weeks that I've been out walking again has helped with my stamina. Had to stop very little on those hills back there today. Some of the hills I didn't even stop at all, which is a huge improvement from when I first started walking a few weeks ago.
As you can see, I did a total of 4.3 miles in about an hour and a half.
Hit me up. We'll go for a stroll together. And as always, let's keep rolling.
Come along next week for a hidden gem that I just found.